Hello and welcome to this presentation to welcome you to the beginning of the journey that your son or daughter will go on in the next 2 years. My name's Simon Murphy. I'm the head of sixth form at Settle College, and in this presentation I'm just going to give you an overview of student life in sixth form, expectations we have, and also how we report during the course of the academic year. Just before I do that, I just want to pick out some of the achievements we had this summer. Now, as you know, the students this summer have had, the culmination of 2 years of disruption, and having set examinations internally in the summer term, the students had teacher assessed grades, and that was a combination of work produced during the course of the year, and as I said, some assessments they had as well. And we were really pleased with how they did in the examinations, but also overall achieving their first choice university, and also getting to the Russell Group universities, which tend to be a group of 24 universities that pretty much are the top universities of the UK. And our grades, in especially A star to B, above national average, and our A star to C as well. So most students came out with an average grade of a grade B, which was fantastic for them and moving forward. So as you can see here, and this is hopefully something that your son or daughter may do in 2 years' time, destinations where they go to is quite wide-ranging, from the traditional places where we tend to see students go to, like Leeds, Manchester, Newcastle, but this year as far afield as Exeter, Plymouth, as well as going down to the south coast in Sheffield as well. So really looking around at the different universities that are available to students, looking around, that's taken place during the course of probably a 8 to 9 months period, really, where they've really researched where they wanted to go to. And as I said, we're really happy to see them getting the first choice. So this is the environment your son and daughter is learning in. This is the sixth form centre, whereby they have access to computers, their own personal space, as well as the library where they are able to work independently. This is manned by myself, Miss Pettifer, Miss Craig, who are the members of staff within the sixth form team. So we were delighted to have an induction day last Wednesday to invite Year 12s back and to see everybody happy to see each other again, able to get together as a group. And this is a bit of a team building exercise as well. And we tried to focus on what made a successful sixth form student. And we brought in universities like Northumbria University to sort of give their perspective on what makes a successful sixth former. But the students really to understand during the course of the day what they think they'll need to have in terms of skills moving forward. So they came up with lots of ideas, and this particular chart here sort of shows the type of things they thought were really important. So obviously work is the largest word there. They obviously have to work to be successful, but other words as well, like being enthusiastic for the studies, being able to plan, being committed, but also being calm. And what I liked to see was the words like being positive, polite, having that sense of community as well, because the journey in the sixth form is all about academic, of course, but more so what can they bring to the college as well in terms of their personal skills and commitment to not just Settle College sixth form but also the main school as well. So generally the skills and the words we're looking for, and we're trying to emphasize this, is to be professional in terms of their approach to their studies and trying to have that sense of community, looking after each other both internally and within the wider community. We're obviously preparing students for future careers and study, and That's what they're looking to do, but also within that, it's not just about the grades they receive, it's also the opportunities they've taken whilst here, which we call enrichment, which we'll talk about more later. Academic excellence, because we'll be in a very competitive world, both in apprenticeships and university. Support and care is what we're offering as well, and we want them to do that within themselves as well. Having the maturity, they are the leaders of the school in many ways, and they're looked up to by the rest of the school. Have a sense of responsibility, therefore, showing initiative both in their academic studies and how they can make a difference to the school. Said being role models, and a sense of achievement. That's what we're aiming for them to do by the end of the 2 years. So a few weeks in, your son, daughter may start to have that expression where things have started to become a bit more real in terms of the workload starts to increase, and it's very important that we recognise that, you know, in the November months and the February months, these are the tough times where things get a bit difficult. The workload, preparation for any assessments start to happen. So we were very much aware of the need to support more so in November and in February. Revision for Year 12 students pretty much is round about the summer term. There will be some subjects whereby you'll have exams in January, so mainly the vocational subjects, but most students will be doing mock examinations in June, and revision will centre around that. Now, I'll come back to revision later on, because revision isn't just what we always think of as, you know, preparing for exams. Revision is a continuous process throughout the academic 2 years. And obviously what we're looking for is results day, so that will be in 2023, whereby they've got these fantastic outcomes that enable them to get onto the next pathway. So this first term, really, just to make you aware of what's happening, tutor time is from 8:35 to 8:55, and that's a really important time. Don't let them say, "Oh, I've only got form time," or I don't need to be into my lessons till later, because in the form time it's really important that we sort of speak to the students, your tutors speak to your son, daughter as well, and we're doing lots of things that not just develop them academically and help them in their journey, but also give them that scope to think about the wider issues of facing them, both locally, nationally and internationally. So we split the days into different activities. So Mindfulness Monday is really just a chance for them just to think about things, just prepare themselves for the week after the weekend. We do give some messages out about events that are happening. Tuesday is our PSE program, whereby we look at different issues from personal things that they may come across during the course of their lives, to looking at careers, looking at the ability to recognise the social issues that are happening in the world as well. So that's an important aspect to their development. Wednesday we tend to have quizzes, try to get them a bit more competitive in a quiz, an interform quiz. Thursday we look at mentoring, where there's a bit of reflection on how they are doing, what they need to do to improve, an opportunity to talk to the tutor. And Friday is our assembly and folder organisation, where we're getting prepared for the new working week. All students will have an interview with a tutor, an informal interview, just to get to know you and get to know them a little bit better. So the timetable itself is similar to this, really. We take a week by week timetable. So we've got subject 1, geography here, maybe 4 lessons a week. And it's maths, we're filling the timetable as well. Business studies, so this student's doing 4 subjects, so we've got sport as well. Now, most of your sons and daughters are doing 3 subjects. So you will see during the course of the week, there are added lessons, like we have what we call a personal development lesson, which is looking at EPQ, which is a qualification they can do, and also preparing them for your careers as well. That's an extra lesson. Enrichment on period 5 on a Wednesday. I'll talk more about enrichment later on. But the rest of the time you sort of can see whereby they have study periods. Library is a good place to go and dedicate themselves to a quiet environment. So library and studies would fill the timetable. So in GCSE they would have had full days of lessons. As you can see here, there are occasions where there'll be more gaps, more study periods. I mentioned enrichment. This can happen on a Wednesday period 5, but often there are things whereby they can do it in other times. It can be whenever it suits, really. It can be after school, because there may be some events that happen after school that can contribute to this enrichment activity. The reason we do this is because what we're trying to prepare them for is not just academic success, but also that well-rounded person who can make a contribution to a university, to an employer. And universities are looking for, a lot of it, they're looking for what else you can bring to the college or to the university or to the workplace. So anything that they can do which shows that they're not just a fantastic A-level student really enhances their application. So we have about 1 hour a week we ask them to be dedicated to this, a member of staff for reference, and these are just things that have happened both in Settle College inside, and the more things that are happening this year. It's got Mr. Ellis who's looking more at leadership roles within the college. So these are range from competitions we've run in the past. Your son daughter may help out with the brownies, the guides, or the Scout Association. There may be a life guard. Some people have done that in the past. Again, that's helping in the community. But there's things we do during the course of the year whereby that's something they sign up for. There's lots of online courses as well they can do. So a MOOC, MOOC, is just an online course whereby they can just do that. It can be on any topic, or they can do that and pay for some type of certification for it if they wanted to. 16 to 19 bursary fund is available to people who feel that they need some support, both financially, to do with travel, to do with expenses that sixth form brings. So it exists to help students continue with their education, whereby in other cases they may be finding it difficult due to financial circumstances. The bursary has slightly changed this year in terms of what we need to see from students is like a list of things they need in order to be successful at Settle College. So rather than it being money that is issued to students need to make a claim based around the need. So for example, it could be that they need a bus pass to be paid, and that bus pass can be purchased, and we would reimburse them, or we would get the bus pass for them, or we would get equipment for them in order for them to continue. So it's a needs basis. So the applications and information is on the Settle College website under sixth form. It's called Bursary and Travel, and if you just have a look at that document there, paperwork, and it's usually bursary is really for people below the £30,000 threshold. So have a read of that information if you think it may apply to you. We will be target setting students, or have target setting students based on their GCSE performance. So students will have an average GCSE score, and it works out what a company called ALPS, which we use, they work out a predicted target grade. So your son, daughter will all have a target grade for that particular subject. Some subjects will negotiate with the student, and it could be higher or lower dependent on the conversation. That sort of helps us understand, or you understand as well, how much progress they're making. So let's just take the student who's doing PE, history, maths, and biology. So the ALPS score is giving a B, but in certain issue here with history is that they've negotiated and felt that C would be a more realistic target. So these would be the grades that will be issued, and the progress review, which will be in November, we might show an attitude to learning score, with the grades being 1 outstanding, 2 good, 3 requires some improvement, and 4 requires much improvement. And the estimated level. So in this occasion here, the student has been estimated after the first 2 months a grade D, a grade C in history, so they're on target, and on target in maths and doing exceptionally well in biology. So that would be our concern, and obviously what we try to do then with the PE departments to work on strategies to sort of get them back on track. Biology doing particularly well, and again rewarded for that with positive praise. So in February, the second lot of progress reviews would come out, and therefore we can see some improvements in PE. History stayed the same. Again, maths doing particularly well, and biology being covered as well. So we're starting to see some improvements across the board now. And then June, we start to see even better performance. We're starting to see 2 subjects on above target, and 2 subjects on target. So we're starting to see some good progress being made here. Attendance policy is that students are here, certainly for the first 7 weeks. We're looking at students being here from 8:35 to 3:20, regardless of lessons or not, because we're trying to work with them regarding their independent study skills, and trying to realize that A-levels is not just about doing the homework, it's not just about making notes, it's about being active and spending their time preparing for the next lesson, reviewing the notes they've made, and testing themselves, so being active learners as well. So that might require them to produce their own exam questions, or to actually answer some exam questions independently, to look at the mark scheme to see how they're doing, that type of thing. So attendance is very important, that they're here all the time, really. It is full-time, therefore, education. It's compulsory for all aspects of study, and students are expected to develop levels of professionalism here and reliability that will serve them well in the world of work and further study. Because universities are looking for that type of student, really, that they can trust, that will get on with the study. So responsibility for unforeseen absence is their responsibility. So we ask students, if they can, or yourselves, to phone college absence phone line by 8:30 with Miss Pettifer as the attendance officer. You can leave a message on the answer phone, and the message will be emailed to tutors and also subject teachers for the day in question. And it's the responsibility of the students to try to collect any missed work as well. So examples of absence that will be acceptable, of course: illness, emergency medical dental appointments, etc. Things that might not be acceptable: holiday during term time without written permission from Mr. Whittaker, and there is a form to sort of fill in for that. Driving lessons should be taken after school. Driving tests, of course, would be an acceptable thing to happen. So if you're unsure about any of this, contact myself or Miss Pettifer at college. Any dates where they know they're going to be away, so that could be for medical, or could be for potentially like an open day visit, just to inform tutors of planned absence in writing. As I said, there's a green absence request form which goes to Mr. Whittaker, and the idea would be he would look at that independently. Attendance is a key factor. I think students who obviously do attend do better, so it's really important that they maintain that 95 and above percentage mark. Just some dates for you to just bear in mind. Within school, we're looking at the 18th of October there. We have a skills review week where we look at performance, and we put messages out there if there was any concerns regarding that. UCAS was more year 13, that deadline for year 13. We do have an open evening where your son or daughter may be helping out on the 11th of November. Learning conversations begin straight after half term, just to sort of talk about folders and talk about how they're doing. We actually have a planned parents' evening in the school hall at the moment. That's how we feel it would happen if it changes, like it did last year, where things went on to a system whereby we had a like video call sessions. We'll let you know whether that's happening come November time. As you know, things change. So we have that parents' evening booked in for the 9th of December. No matter what happens, that will be a chance to talk to teachers. External examinations for any CTEC courses your son or daughter's doing, that's in business, IT, engineering, will be in the 10th of January, I should say 2022. Mock exams begin for year 13s in February, and the year 12s exams tend to be in the summer term. And there's another parents' evening later in the academic year, so 17th of March 2022. There'll be another opportunity to speak to teachers then. So thank you for listening. It's been really good to be able to share what we're doing at Settle College, and any questions you have, please get in touch and let us know how we can help. So we're really here to sort of make your son or daughter aware of what they need to do and helping them along their journey to get into where they want to become. So thank you very much for listening. Goodbye.